Hey, I'm Mike Backerell, and today we're going to take a look at a really great minor line that I've heard both Wes Montgomery and Grant Green use. So let's take a look. So this line is just an arpeggio, but it's more than just a regular triad or a minor seventh or something like that. It has a lot of extensions in it. So let's take a look at what's going on with this arpeggio. So for the sake of this, we're going to demonstrate this in A minor. And it's built around this chord shape. We have A, E, G, C. This drop 2 voicing. So I'm starting here on A. Again, I go up to C, which is the flat third, go up to E, which is our fifth, and G, which is our flat seventh. So far we just have a minor 7 arpeggio. And rather than go back up to the root, which would be, 1 octave of the arpeggio, I'm going to keep stacking in thirds. So I got A, C, E, and G, and then I'm going to go up another third, which takes me to the ninth, in this case the B. And then I'm going to go up a third again. This takes me up to the 11th, or the D. So what this is this is an extended arpeggio. It's rather than just play up to the 7th and then go to the root and then keep the cycle going. The way we typically tend to practice arpeggios, we're going to keep going in thirds. And we can go up again. There's the root. So we can go, there's our 13. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch to try to maneuver that into a line. But that's the concept, is we're going to keep stacking in thirds. And we can go lower too. So there I went root, I'm going to go down a third to the 6th. Go down a third again to the 4th, down a third again to the 2nd. I can go down a third again to the flat 7th, down a third again to the 5th. So I'm just stacking in thirds continuously. Now as far as the line goes, let's take a look at the rhythm here. So we start on the and of 4. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we just go and 1, and 2, and 3, and we climb all the way straight up to the 11th, and then we start doing this thing. So we have and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. As you can see, that works really well over a minor 7 chord because it outlines the full arpeggio plus some colorful extensions. But where else could we use this? You might notice that the top part of this arpeggio, this part, is a major 7 shape that we could play with as a chord. And that's a C major 7. So could we play this line over a C major 7? Absolutely. This time, the A functions as a 13, or the 6th. So we have 6, 1, 3, 5, 7, and then 9. And so that works just as well over a C major 7. So we have A minor 7 and C major 7 so far. We could also play this over like a D7 sus. A typical like D7 sus voicing, we're playing a C triad, and we have our third finger here on the D. This is a really common voicing I see used a lot, especially in R&B music. So I can go A, which would be the 5th of the D, C is the flat 7, E would be the 9, G would be the sus 4, or the 11, B is the 13, and then up here on top, there's our root. Now here's the interesting thing, so if we're in the key of G, we have 2-5, A minor 7, D7. As we just saw, this line initially we were talking about playing it over A minor 7, and we could also play it over D7. So we could play this line over the entire 2-5 and just treat the 5 chord as a 7 sus. And a 7 sus is the same as the 2 chord. So if we look at that, we have C and G. And normally when we go to D7, we would keep the C the same, that's our flat 7, and we would just lower the G to F sharp. But if we keep that G there, that functions as the sus 4 over the D7, right? So looking at that, we can see that the 2 chord is basically just a sus version of the 5 chord, and all that's happening is So all we can see is that note goes down. And so one thing I've had some teachers talk about, they refer to it as Westifying the Changes. And Wes did this quite a bit, where instead of playing something over the 2 and then something over the 5, just play the 2 over the whole sequence. Just play 2. And it still tackles the 5, it's just a sus version of the 5, and it resolves almost the same. So you could play this line over an entire 2-5 sequence going to G. So I can play this line the same way and just shift the ending to landing on notes from G. So I just changed 2 notes there and went down to D and B, but that outlines my G chord. You notice the resolution is not nearly as strong as it is if I play some sort of altered thing, but we don't always need that. I mean, having a variety of how we resolve can really add something to our playing. I'm definitely guilty of almost always playing the same kind of altered stuff over a dominant chord. So maybe not having so much tension, on a couple 2-5s, in a chorus might add something to the listener's ear. But as is, we have 3 uses over this line that are really cool sounding, and it's a great way to kind of get your feet wet with extended arpeggios, because you can do this with anything. So I could take a C, like a C major 7. So I go 1, 3, 5, 7. And then rather than go back up to root, I can go up to the 9, sharp 11, 13. So that's the same concept of using extended arpeggios. I can do the same thing with a C dominant 7. So 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 9, sharp 11, 13, minor 7. You can do minor 7, flat 5 the same way. So this is a concept to really take some time with and explore. So thanks for checking out the lesson. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time.